Welcome to Last Week in Warframe, a series where I keep you updated on the past week of Warframe, from announcements made by DE that don't necessarily warrant their own videos to community fan art posts and updates. So, without further ado, let's go over these announcements and news from the 14th of April to the 20th. Starting this week's episode off, we had the announcement of the next dev stream that will be on the 3rd of May at 2 PM Eastern Time. For PC players, we had Hotfix 24.7.2, which provided a new location for the Tauroid resource to be farmed. So, the Colder Tauroid has a 20% chance to drop from the Skyto-Rachnoids, the Solar Tauroids have a 20% chance to drop from the Kyto-Rachnoids, and the Vega Tauroids have a 1% chance to drop from the Might-Rachnoids. For more information about what was in this hotfix, there is an individual video on the channel about it. We also received the earliest end date for the Nightwave Series 1 Wolf of Saturn 6, which will be May 15th. Now, they also said that they buffed the spawn rate of the Wolf of Saturn 6 to 4% across all platforms on any mission below level 20. But any mission that is level 20 plus, the spawn rate has been increased to 6%. We also received a Arbitration Revisited developer workshop. Arbitrations have existed in Warframe for just over 6 months. These endgame mission variations put new twists on our tried and true mission formula, offering a players a challenge they cannot find anywhere elsewhere in the game. Now that we have had time to observe how these missions fare in players' hands, we have prepared some tweaks meant to address common complaints with the mode. The most polarizing of these issues is Arbitration's lack of revives. Adding real consequence to death was somewhat of a new sensation in Warframe, and while we would like to retain some of that tension, the fact of the matter is that being dead is not fun. Permadeath also caused issues with host migration, since a dead host may be inclined to leave early, potentially throwing squad mates into disarray. Therefore, we will be implementing a new system where dead players can be revived, but your squad mates will have to earn it. The way it works is if a player dies, a tower will spawn next to them. The teammates within the game will have to gather resurgent burdens, which will drop from destroying arbitration drones. Now, you can only revive a player if you have a full stack of 5. You cannot revive them by multiple players running in and depositing the points. Now, when you do have the resurgent burden pick up, it will reduce the health of your Warframe. Now, they also stated the following. We hope that this system bridges the gap between players who crave hardcore consequences and those who are put off by the prospect of permadeath. Since this shifts the mission balance in favor of players, we plan to compensate by making enemies scale at the rate they do in other missions, instead of the reduced rate of scaling that arbitrations have now. They also announced that arc gun ribbons will be available for purchase from the arbitration vendor for Vitus Essence, as well as a few new cosmetic rewards. And all of this could be released this upcoming week. Now, since it was Easter and it just passed, there is the Easter cosmetics and a number of alerts. So, up until April 24th at 2 PM Eastern Time, you can pick up the Easter color palette, which will remain in your inventory. You can purchase the Spring Step Ephemera or the Lepus headgear for 5,000 credits each, but they will be removed from your inventory in the first week of May. Now, during this period of time, there are also 3 alerts, and they will get you some exclusive skins, so you can get the Zebra Paris skin, the Rak Fluctus skin, and the Scorn Lacera skin. All of these, once again, will be available up until April 24th at 2 PM Eastern Time. Now, for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, Update 24.6.2 is live on your platform. You guys have everything up until the Plains of Eidolon Remaster, so if you do want to know all the information about what you received, the links to the patch notes are in the description, as well as to the hotfixes that came afterwards. Now, Megan also posted on the forums stating the following. Hello, Console Tenno. Just a quick heads up, the next rotation of Buried Debt's Thermia fractures will last for 1 week as opposed to the usual 2 weeks. This is to sync all platforms moving forward to have the same switch to flip for Thermia fractures to go live. Less wires crossed, the better. Thermia fractures will exist the normal 2 weeks after this once has concluded. Now, for PlayStation players, there is the Spring Platinum Sale. For North and South America, it runs up until the 30th of April. For Europe, Asia, Africa, Oceanic, and the Middle East, you have up until May 1st, and for Japan, you have up until May 2nd. For Nintendo Switch players, DE Rebecca posted the following. With the latest update, we believe we fixed the Mirage plus Simulor issue that was extra intense on Nintendo Switch, as we could no longer reproduce the issue internally. We are hoping any keen Tenno can indeed verify this to be the case. We will be watching this thread for a simple yay or nay on this fun-stopping bug being eradicated. Now for Nintendo Switch players, there has been an issue with TennoGen, and the DE forum posts read. There were comments by Steve, Taylor, Megan, Rebecca on the streams, but they are all compiled into the following forum threads. In the Nintendo Switch and console TennoGen Bug and Resolution forum post, Rebecca said, "We have an update on a bug we found regarding some TennoGen cosmetics. History is important before we get into the bug, so bear with us. TennoGen is a PC program that, 1 year after launch, we came up with a way to license to our console players. Each individual item is bought out with each artist so that we can sell it to our console players. We do this to be fair to our creators, and if we ever sold something without licensing it, it would be below our fairness standards, and that's not the type of company we want to be." A loophole bug was allowing Nintendo Switch players to buy TennoGen that had been licensed to PlayStation and Xbox, but not yet the Nintendo Switch. The given items bought out well before Nintendo Switch was announced. We have fixed this bug and will be rolling back the sales and refunding platinum spent sometime this week or next. There were anywhere from a few to a few dozen or so per item, so the issue is not very widespread. We will also be licensing out as much as possible to properly restore the items with fair compensation to our creators. DE Helen later commented further, "I understand your confusion, so I'd like to answer some specific questions here," where a player asked, "But is it all of Switch TennoGen being revoked, or is it just a few selected items?" Helen replied, "No, not all Nintendo Switch TennoGen is being removed. The bug made it so unlicensed TennoGen was available through the arsenal that was not available in the market. Only TennoGen that was exclusively available through the arsenal has been removed, and players who purchased that TennoGen will be refunded their platinum. We released a big wave of TennoGen in the Fortuna Profit Taker and Nightwave update. All of that TennoGen is staying." Another player, "Pulling all of that without any prior notice or warning, and then providing no new information on when it's going to return outside of we're working on it, is disappointing. Vaguely stating we're working on it was fine before this mess happened, not so much now." Helen replied, "The plan is to have all TennoGen available on all consoles, but part of realizing that plan is doing right by TennoGen artists, and that takes time. TennoGen creators submit designs through Steam on PC. PC players purchase through Steam, which assures that artists receive a cut of every purchase. Steam distribution isn't possible on consoles, but we wanted to make sure TennoGen was available to all Tenno. That is why we worked out a way to make it purchasable with platinum on consoles. We talk to each individual artist to make sure they are fairly compensated before releasing their designs. That kind of coordination takes time, so we can't say specifically when each piece that's available on other platforms will be available on Nintendo Switch. This is absolutely our bad for not handling this bug sooner, and we will be working as fast as we can to restore each piece. This is on us, we are sorry." In another reply, Helen said the following, "We have finished running the script to refund platinum to all players who had unlicensed TennoGen items removed from their arsenal. If your platinum has not been refunded, please contact our support team right away." We then had a follow-up forum post that was TennoGen Bug and Resolution Part 2. The post read, "We hear your comments about platinum refund not being enough for the trouble this bug caused and want to do more for Nintendo Switch players who were affected. Since the bug was discovered, the team has been working with TennoGen artists to license their items for Nintendo Switch as quickly as possible. We have items that are licensed but not yet bundled. Octavia Diva, Mesa Grax, Nova Corporate, Do Volpi Dana, and the Rapala Dana. To apologize for our mistake, we are giving these items to all affected Nintendo Switch players via an in-game inbox message for free. We'll keep you posted to let you know when the bundle has been sent out. The bundle's official release will be in May. Our team will continue working hard to license more items for Nintendo Switch in May and June. We're sorry again for the trouble and confusion. As of recording the audio for this video, they have had 2 updated posts that read, "All inbox messages have been sent to Nintendo Switch players who had TennoGen items removed from their inventories. If you seem to be missing platinum, please contact our support team so they can investigate for you. We just finished running a script to refund platinums to all players who purchased one of the TennoGen items that are now free for affected players. This includes Octavia Diva, Mesa Grax, Nova Corporate, Do Volpi Dana, and the Rapala Dana. Only players that were affected by the original script, had items removed from their inventory, will receive this refund. If something seems amiss with your platinum balance or inventory, please contact support. We then had the winners of the TennoTunes Volume 4 contest announced, and if you do want to go through each of the songs that the players made, the link will be in the description down below. Now on Reddit, a player shared an image of an Infested Heavy Sword that was previously shown in a dev stream, where a player did reply, probably coming with the next Nightwave, seeing as it's speculated to be about the Infested, where Rebecca replied, "This Tenno may be onto something." Now in relation to this, on Twitter, a player said, "Thinks about the possibility of a new matching armor and Syndana set, thinks of RNG from the new sword to be similar to the Wolf Sledge, the things I'd do for Warframe," where Rebecca said it's going to be an earned skin versus drop weapon, where another player said, "So it's going to be a weapon skin like Galatine Claymire," where Rebecca said, "It will be a weapon like other weapon skins, but for Two Handed Katana." We then had a number of tweets from D.E. Taylor, in reply to another Warframe partner, Whiskey Cat, who said in reply to another partner's post, "Why are you a partner when you don't meet the criteria on the website? Just wondering," where Taylor said, "When he was accepted to the program in 2016, he did meet the listed criteria. The follow account was up to 2,500 in 2017, long after he showed time and time again that he is a valuable member of the partner and Warframe community." Whiskey Cat also made an individual post that read, "Unpopular opinion. Digital Extremes needs to revamp their partner program and remove all the dead weight, and those who don't meet criteria, grandfathered in or not. You can't try to change everything else, DE, and expect no one to notice that you haven't done your job." Where D. Taylor replied, "We do actively reach out to partners who no longer make content. That process takes a lot of time and care, and is handled privately. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it isn't happening. We're not a company that will force you to cover us, and we don't want to be," where Taylor does attach an email sent to a partner. Whiskey Cat replied, "Yet there are so many who still remain. Why have rules? Honestly, just update your page and say up to DE discretion who we let in and keep in the program regardless of requirements." Where Taylor replied, "As I said, these things take time. That screenshot is only the first step in a conversation with a partner, a person who has many aspects of their busy life that affects their content creation decisions and ability to answer our emails. Lol. We do our best to respect that. We could simply remove the people after X days of not making content, but that's not how we like to do things." Where Whiskey Cat replied, "Taylor, I just want things to be more fair, and I'd love to talk to you in private about things as well. I probably should have started with that, but for whatever reason my head thought it would be better to say something public first," where they then went into PMs. But there were also two more attached conversations on Twitter. In reply to another thread that sparked from the unpopular opinion tweet by Whiskey Cat, D.E. Taylor replied to another Warframe partner and Whiskey Cat having a conversation, where she said that is literally what we do in cases of inactive partners as seen here, linking back to the previously read thread. And another Warframe partner, Retalius, said the following in his own tweet linking to Whiskey Cat. "I've been meaning to release a video about the partner program, but I've been holding off on it because I feel it is quote-unquote too soon after my chat moderation video. I might release it after you make your video. I'd love to give my thoughts." Where D. Taylor said, "If either of you have any questions about the program policies or the program itself, more than happy to answer them. DMs are always open." Where Retalius replied, "Noted, although the way it's scripted at the moment makes it less quote-unquote hostile as my video on the chat moderators was, in case that's a concern. I myself don't have any questions, been partnered for a while, just thoughts on how things could be better, plus waiting on Whiskey Cat's spreadsheet." Where Taylor said, "Okay, just know there isn't a lot of public info about the program outside of the application page. I'm here to offer clarity where possible if needed." We then had Ashisogi Tenno tweet in reply to Taylor saying, "How about you finally explain to me and my community why on earth y'all don't deem me worthy for partner?" Where Taylor replied, "We sent you an email about a week and a half ago actually. I can re-forward it if needed." Ashisogi said, "Alrighty, found it. Much appreciated. Now I just need to know where you'd like me to reach out to. Here DMs that email, whichever is most convenient to you. Email is preferred. Ashisogi for partner maybe? I don't know. Care about that?" Anyway, next up was a reply on Reddit where someone said, "What will it take to get the simple ability to toggle the flashlight?" Where D.E. Rebecca said, "It will take an infinite keybind technology that works on 4 platforms, or more intuitive automated functionality." Where a player replied, "Shove a toggle in the gear wheel." Another replied, seems silly to put a toggle for a flashlight in the gear wheel unless we can have different colored flashlights, where Rebecca said, $100 pink flashlights. Now also in reply to Rebecca's first reply, another player said, perhaps have it tied to secondary fire on the drills, until there's a way to maybe lessen the strong light from the flashlight, or have it be an option in the menus. No lights for infested tile sets would be kinda baller, to be honest. Where Rebecca replied, flashlight control is needed most in this scenario, which is also the only scenario that frees that keybind. Now, another Reddit post received a reply from Rebecca, and it was, 3rd annual Let Me Keep My Bunny Ears and Give Us a Show Festive Cosmetics option. It's a long post, so if you do want to read it yourself, links in the description or up on your screen, but Rebecca's reply was stemmed from 2 different comments. So this isn't the first time it's been brought up, and how has DE been responding so far? Genuine question here. Another player replied, I know the devs don't like being pinged and it's late and getting to be after work for some of them, but with respect, tagging Rebecca, what is DE's official stance if y'all have one? Could you find out Monday for us? Where Rebecca replied, we like doing seasonal events. In many ways we depend on them. The creative team simply does not want these around all year round. How that factor lands can be turbulent, but that's where they end up every year. Maybe next year, Bunny Bros. Anyway, that does conclude this episode of Last Week in Warframe. If you found the video informative, make sure to leave a like. If you think I can improve upon the series in any way, shape or form, make sure to leave it in the comment section down below. And if you want the channel glyph, the codes are up on your screen. They are one-time use. If someone else has already redeemed them, you cannot get it using that code and you will have to wait till next week. Or you can scour through all the previous episodes and grab the code from there, chuck it into the promo code section on the Warframe website, and you'll get the channel glyph as an icon in-game. And if you missed out on last week's episode, the annotation on the screen right now will take you right to it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.